Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jody Williams. I would like to welcome everyone to the Food Safety Outreach Program RFA Technical Assistance webinar. I see the numbers are still coming in. Let's give everyone another 1 minute or so in order to get in the room and get situated, and then we'll get started. Thank you. All right, so in the interest of time, I'm going to go ahead and get started. My name is Dr. Jody Williams. I'm a National Program Leader in Food Safety here at USDA's National Institute of Food and Agriculture. I'd like to welcome everyone to the Food Safety Outreach Program's fiscal year 2024 Request for Application Technical Assistance webinar. Before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and start with an overview of our non-discrimination statement. So in accordance with federal civil rights law and the U.S. Department of Agriculture civil rights regulations and policies, the USDA, its agencies, offices, and employees, and institutions participating in or administering USDA programs are prohibited from discriminating based on race, color, national origin, religion, sex, gender identity, including gender expression, sexual orientation, disability, age, marital status, family parental status, income derived from a public assistance program, political beliefs, or reprisal or retaliation for prior civil rights activity in any program or activity conducted or funded by USDA. Not all bases apply to all programs. Remedies and complaint filing deadlines vary by program or incident. The slide also contains contact information for individuals with disabilities to request reasonable accommodations that language access services will be provided to limited English proficient individuals upon request, and that anyone wishing to file a complaint can utilize the phone number, fax number, or postal mailing address listed on the slide. This webinar session is recorded and will be posted on the Funding Opportunities webpage where you registered. I'd like to take a little bit of time to introduce the Food Safety Outreach Program team. As I've already stated, my name is Jody Williams. We also have Colin Edwards, our program specialist on. He's also in the Institute of Food Safety and Nutrition. And we also have our program assistant, Shakiva Shepard, in the Institute of Food Safety and Nutrition, who will be working closely with the program. So this afternoon, we're going to take a look at discussing the NIFA overview, so kind of giving you the lay of the land of NIFA, provide a program overview specifically for the Food Safety Outreach Program, dive into the details of the request for application, go through the proposal evaluation process, and then finally we'll end with additional information and resources. There will be a Q&A session following that. So let's start with the NIFA overview. So NIFA is the extramural science funding agency within the Research, Education, Economics mission area, and we invest in supporting initiatives that ensure the longer-term viability of ag. NIFA specifically provides both funding and strategic leadership for programs that ensure groundbreaking discoveries in ag-related sciences and technologies and making sure they reach the people who can put them into practice. There are a variety of topics that are covered by NIFA programs. We cover the gamut of agricultural sciences to include human sciences. We also look at farming and ranching, environment, advanced technologies, as well as an international portfolio. A little bit about the Food Safety Outreach Program. So in fiscal year 2024, the Food Safety Outreach Program will maintain and continuing funding training, education, outreach, and coordination by soliciting new projects in the area of community outreach, collaborative education and training, regional coordination center and lead centers, and technical assistance grant writing skills project. So more specifically, the community outreach projects will have a grant duration of 24 months, and the award amount is between $80,000 and $150,000. The collaborative education and training projects have award amounts between $200,000 and $400,000 and a grant duration of 36 months. Regional center projects have an award amount between $800,000 and $1 million, and they are also for 36 months. And our technical assistance grant writing skills projects have an award amount of $75,000 to $150,000 with a grant duration of 36 months. Please note that applicants may request an additional $150,000 for collaborative engagement supplements, and I'll share a little bit more about those supplements later in the slides. So I'm going to go into a little more detail about each individual priority, beginning with our community outreach projects. These smaller projects support the development and expansion of new food safety education outreach programs in local communities that reach small, specialized audiences and address their very specific and targeted needs. The expectation of these projects is not that they have a robust food safety program already in place, but that they can build one, or they are growing or expanding a pretty small program. It is also appropriate for these projects to expand to new audiences over time and provide technical assistance within the communities they support. The collaborative education and training projects are larger projects that support the development of multi-county or multi-state food safety education programs. The projects may support collaborations across multiple states that are not contiguous, but have common commodities, common concerns, or common food safety practices. There is an expectation that awardees for the collaborative education and training projects have significant food safety experience and the capability to develop and modify food safety training curricula to meet the FSMA rules. They also need to have a strong track record of working with that specialized targeted audience. Regional centers support the infrastructure of the program, of the overall program, by coordinating information within and among the 4 regions to ensure the best practices for FSMA-related training. Education and technical assistance within the local communities that are then transferred to the national audience. These projects ensure that there is a continued education and training for the cadre of regional FSMA trainers that are currently available, and then continuing to provide training to both growers and processors, as well as new trainers as they come on board. The regional center projects may include a lead regional center objective. That objective allows for an additional $200,000, and they are responsible for providing a leadership role in coordinating all 4 of the regional centers. And then finally, the technical assistance grant writing skills priority. The overall goal of this priority is to strengthen food safety outreach program proposals from organizations that support food safety education and training, servicing the food safety outreach program's target audience. These projects will provide grant writing resources for entities that support and interact with underserved populations, including new applicants, community-based organizations, and minority-serving institutions. These projects must work collaboratively with the Food Safety Outreach Program regional centers. Those centers are located at the University of Vermont, University of Florida, Iowa State University, and Oregon State University. And in order to coordinate and communicate their workshops and sessions, websites, portals, toolkits, et cetera. All of the regional centers that you are encouraged that you must work with in order to be successful in submitting a technical assistance grant writing skills project, all those centers have websites that are available using a simple Google search. As I mentioned, as I promised earlier, a little bit more on those collaborative engagement supplements. They'll be available for applications that are submitted under the community outreach priority, the collaborative education and training priority, and the technical assistance priority. They are not eligible for their regional center and lead regional center priority. There is an expectation that those entities are already collaborating. There is a requirement that in order to gain this support, there must be significant collaboration through the partnership with 1890s, 1862s, 1994s, entities that are in insular areas, the Alaska Native Hawaiian institutions, Hispanic serving institutions, Hispanic serving agricultural colleges and universities, historically Black colleges and universities, and community-based organizations that are reaching underserved populations. If you're partnering with a community-based organization that is reaching underserved populations, or you are the community-based organization reaching underserved populations that is looking to partner and receive these additional funds, you must justify how and that you are working and reaching this underserved population already, not that you're planning to. Applications that include significant collaborations will receive an additional $150,000 above the listed award amounts. I will caution you to not apply for this additional engagement supplement if the collaboration is not significant. You won't be funded at all. So you won't just lose the $150,000. Your project will not be recommended for funding at all if there is not significant collaboration. Community outreach projects with the supplement are eligible for up to $300,000. Collaborative education and training projects with the supplement are eligible for up to $550,000. And the technical assistance grant writing skills with the supplement are eligible for up to $300,000. Eligibility for the Food Safety Outreach Program follows. Cooperative Extension Service for a U.S. state or territory are eligible to apply. Non-governmental organizations and/or community-based organizations that are representing owners and operators of farms, small food processors, or small fruit and vegetable merchant wholesalers that have a commitment to public health and expertise in administering programs that contribute to food safety, and you must justify that, are eligible to apply. Federal, state, local, or tribal agencies are eligible to apply. An institution of higher education is eligible to apply, as well as their foundation. And a collaboration of two or more eligible entities are also eligible to apply. Application submission and award limitations. This has been added. We've gotten quite a few questions as NIFA has increased the limitations on the number of awards that are going to multiple entities within multiple institutions, multiple awards going to individual institutions, excuse me. And so for the Food Safety Outreach Program, project directors may not submit more than one application to the program as a lead institution. And so as the project director, you can only submit one application. Institutions can submit multiple applications, but they have to be by different project directors. There's no matching required. Matching resources will not be factored into the review process. It is not part of the evaluation criteria. A little bit on application details and documents. So changes from prior year, we are seeking regional center and lead regional center projects this year in fiscal year 2024. We do these we have these every 4 years. I'm sorry, every 3 years. Application details. The RFA is available online here at this website. That is the funding opportunity website for Food Safety Outreach Program. If you Google USDA NIFA Food Safety Outreach Program, two things comes up: a program page and the funding opportunities page. You want to click on the funding opportunities page first, so you can download the RFA, and then click on the program page so you can read through all of the FAQs, which is located on the page, as well as previously funded projects, additional details on the program, and I believe our cheat sheets are on there, or tip sheets, I think is what we call them now, are on there as well. The application deadline is February 13th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, has to be submitted through grants.gov. We recommend getting proposals submitted 2 weeks in advance. 2 weeks in advance is the recommendation. Nobody does that. So 72 hours, at least 72 hours, so you can make sure if there are any errors, anything, things that can be easily fixed. So make sure you try to get those submitted in as soon as possible. I hate for you to do all the work and then not be able to get your proposal submitted on time due to some type of technical issue. Total funding available in fiscal year 2024 is $9.6 million. The total funding for the program is $10 million. There are some administrative costs that come off. The program code for the program is A4182. And this is just kind of a reiteration. There's no restriction on the number of proposals per institution, but project directors may only submit one application as the project director. You can be a co-PD on other proposals. There are no restrictions on the number of awards that will be made per institution. So some application details, there are some nuances in the page limit based on the different program areas or priority areas. So the project narrative for the community outreach projects, there is a 10-page limit and it will be strictly enforced by Colin as he reviews them. It is a 1.5 spacing, 12-point font. The font size for your figures, tables, charts, you can have at 11 point. For the collaborative education and training and the regional center and lead regional center projects, those are our bigger projects. The project narrative has a 20-page limit and it will be strictly enforced again. 1.5 spacing and 12-point font. Again, font size for figures and charts is at 11 point. The technical assistance grant writing skills project narrative has a 10-page limit, 1.5 spacing, 12-point font again, and font size for figures again, and charts should be no small, and tables should be no smaller than the 11-point font. Application details, key documents, things that must be included in order for us to review the proposal adequately. The SF 424, which is the application page, budget and budget justification, personnel or key personnel, the project summary or abstract, the full project narrative, a bibliography or reference list, your data management plan, and other documents. The data management plan is part of the evaluation criteria. So if your data management plan is not included, if it makes it past Colin, then it will be dinged during the actual peer review process because it's part of the evaluation criteria. Okay. A little bit more on the data management plan, and there's additional information on NIFA's website. Investigators must provide a detailed, so up to 2 pages, data management plan that includes the expected data type, the data format, data storage and preservation, so how you're going to store it and preserve it, how you're going to share, protect, and limit or allow public access, and then the roles and responsibilities. Application submission, NIFA only accepts electronic submission of applications through grants.gov. We recommend that you use the grants application guide when you're walking through the process. It is a great resource. It has step-by-step from the time you download the application, even before you download the application package, as to how you should submit these proposals and what type of information needs to be in there, what goes in each block as it relates to what's in on the application in grants.gov. Just be mindful that the request for application does supersede the application guide. So if there's a conflict on something that is stated in the application guide versus something that is stated in the request for application, the request for application is a legally binding document and therefore it supersedes the application guide for this program. Application documents, all of them, must be in PDF to be accepted by NIFA, and that includes your narrative and budget justifications. It doesn't even upload it into our system if it's not in PDF, so just get a blank page. And so those projects will be declined without review if they're not submitted in a PDF. Just be mindful that grants.gov may allow other formats. It'll give you the green light, it'll say everything's submitted, confirm that they're PDFs because NIFA does not allow those other formats. And then also don't use the third-party PDF builders that are associated with grants.gov or any other software. A little bit about the proposal evaluation process. This is kind of real high level. So what happens to your proposal once you submit it? So they're assigned for review to at least 3 individual reviewers with expertise in the proposed topic areas. They review these independently, alone, on site, wherever they are. The reviewers will then produce an individual review of each individual proposal, evaluating the strengths and weaknesses based off the evaluation criteria that you'll find in the request for applications. It's at the very end. It's on page 21 at the RFA. It's right before like our names and like the references or contact information. It's the very end. Please take a look at it. Then those written reviews are used to begin panel discussions when we bring all of the reviewers together. So they'll discuss all the individual proposals and all the individual reviews with the other folks that are serving on the panel. Through these discussions, the peer review panelists will then come to consensus on the final ranking of the proposals. They're ranked from outstanding all the way down to do not fund in order of priority. So what's the timeline look like? So right now, we've already started the timeline. The first month to the third month, the request for application is released. Proposal writing and planning is going on now. On February 13th, when the proposals are due, that will start around month 4 to 6. Those proposals become under peer review within a couple weeks of submission to us. And then the proposal funding notifications will then go out at the very end of that. So in about 6 months, you should be able to hear something from us, if not sooner. And then at about 7 to 9 months, the awards are finalized. We'll try to keep you updated as much as possible if there's a significant delay. So if we're way off this timeline, we'll let you know. You're more likely to hear from us sooner than later. So you're less likely to hear from us in 6 months and more likely to hear from us in like 4 or 5 months. So just be patient. Sometimes there are hangups with our process, but it's really unusual. We really like to stay on this timeline. Just some additional information. In order to find funded awards, you can go to our CRIS website. It's not the easiest website to navigate. We also have the data gateway, which is a little easier to navigate, but I really recommend you go to our Food Safety Outreach Program page, the very bottom. So scroll all the way down to the Food Safety Outreach Program page. You'll find previously awarded projects from the inception of the program until last year. They're all there available through hyperlinks, and you can locate them and navigate them quickly to get a good idea as to what types of projects we have funded in the past. Additional grant resources include funding opportunities, the competitive grants flowchart, NIFA grant resources. We have a NIFA policy guide. There's also a guide for indirect costs, how to calculate those. There's a guide for the preparation and submission of NIFA applications via grants.gov. That's the application guide that I shared with you. And then we also have information on awarded grants. That's the CRIS website. And now I'll go ahead and take any questions you may have. Stop sharing. Colin, are there any questions in the?
No, there's nothing in chat at all.
Okay, we have a raised hand. Let me see how that works. Okay. Allowed to talk. Bobby, you can unmute. You have a question?
Yeah, I was just wondering if you could go back to that last slide with all those links on. You kind of I was going to try to grab a snip of that and it went away too fast.
Yep, let me do that.
Also, the reason there's nothing in the chat is it's disabled. We can't put anything in the chat.
Oh, is there the Q&A is should be enabled though.
Oh,
yeah, that's what I did. Yeah, that's what happened when I tried to type, then you called me out.
Okay.
There is a question in chat when you're ready for it.
Okay, let me get the screen back shared and then we'll get that. Okay, let me navigate back. All right. Okay, and the question?
Can you put the link to the DMS plan?
Okay. All right, let's give this a second so we can get a snapshot of this. And then I'll go back to the data management plan page.
While we're waiting on that, can you repeat the information about not using third-party PDF builders?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't use them. They don't always translate well when they upload to grants.gov. There's about 3 different uploads from NIFA. So it uploads into grants.gov and then it uploads to USDA's overall portal and then NIFA pulls it And so somewhere in the translation, things get lost with the PDF builders. So we just recommend that you don't use a PDF builder, that you just submit as individual PDFs into the application. And if you use the application guide, it'll tell you exactly how to do it. Other questions? Anything else in the Q&A?
Those are the only two in the Q&A so far.
Oh, we have another raised hand. Was that Tony Jones's Q&A question?
No.
Okay, let me. Okay, Tony, I have allowed you to talk. You have to unmute though.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes, I'm Reverend Ernest Trice from Memphis, Tennessee. In submitting this application, I wasn't clear if you had to have a collaboration with other organizations or land grant colleges. Can you give a little bit more clarity on that, please, ma'am?
So it's not a requirement. As a community-based organization or non-governmental organization, you are eligible to apply as a single entity. We do recommend that you have someone with some food safety experience on the team submitting your application when you're submitting your application, but that's it. And it's not a requirement, especially for the community outreach projects. Not food safety knowledge and a little bit of experience, and certainly engagement with the target audience is a strong, will help with a strong application.
One of the other questions that I had, did I understand that one of these grants are available for technical assistance? Does that mean that you will, someone will teach you how to write grants? Did I misinterpret that?
So yes and no. What we were advertising or soliciting in this current request for applications is entities that are interested in helping others to increase their likelihood of success by showing them how to, by creating projects and submitting a proposal that will help others to submit stronger applications. But we do have some current, a couple of currently available technical assistance grants. And if you would like for me to share their information with you, you can email me and I'll give you the information that I have on the currently funded technical assistance grants, which will help to support grant writing skills right now.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Other questions? Anything else in the Q&A? Let me get to my contacts. So
No.
Tony has, there we go, access to my contact
One just came in.
Okay.
To clarify, people applying to the grant skills TA must work with regional centers? Question mark.
Yes, they need to collaborate with the regional centers in order to share the information. Other questions? Nothing else coming up?
Not yet.
All righty. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead. Oh, looks like the one just popped up.
Can individuals apply for the community outreach program?
The individuals have to be associated with one of the eligible entities. So it doesn't have to be a team, if that's what you mean by individuals. But if you mean by like an individual person, no. Individual, like, no. you have to be associated with one of the eligible entities. Okay, we have another hand raised.
Question. Did you just say that you have to be affiliated with a organization? Did I
Yes, so
hear that?
so an eligible entity in order to apply, yes. And those eligible entities are here.
Oh, cooperative extension service. Okay. Non-government organization. No 501c3 organizations in here. Oh, yeah. Okay.
They could be included a non-government organization or community-based organization. Yes, 501(c)(3)s can be included in that space.
And number two, non-government. Okay.
Yep.
And so we send my email address to jodi.williams@usda.gov.
Put a dot between Jody and Williams, but yes,
Oh, yeah. Okay. Put a what now?
a dot. Let me get to it for you. It's
Jody.Williams.
Yep.
Jody. Oh, Dot Williams. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks.
Yep. No problem.
Yeah. I couldn't see the dot. Yeah, I see it now. Bam. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Couple more questions came in.
Okay.
Are proposals focused on food safety for meat production eligible?
Processing could potentially be eligible. It depends. It's unlikely, because it's under the program is looking at FSMA, so it's unlikely that the meat project, like meat processing, would be eligible, but it really depends. If it falls under FSMA regulations, which is highly unlikely, it would, but it's unlikely. I would need more information, so maybe send me an email specifically on what you're proposing.
Okay. When do you expect to award the grants, and is there a specific grant start date? Like
Yep.
on the federal fiscal year, or is it just that what we expect to be able to do?
It's on the federal fiscal year, so the start date is September. We usually say September 1 or September 30th. Awards are typically made somewhere around August. It has been trending more toward August and less toward June or July, which is my goal. But awards are made somewhere around August. But you'll be notified before that. It just takes another couple of months for the awards to actually be processed. So they'll be recommended for an award sometime in probably May or June. And then the award will actually be processed by August, early September.
Are the collaborative education and training grants opened up annually for proposals?
They have been in the past, yes. Okay, we have a couple raised hands. Cindy, you should be able to unmute. Cindy, we can't hear you if you're talking. It looks like you're unmuted, but I can't hear you. Okay. And we have one more.
Dr. Williams, I had one concern about backyard gardening. Is there a set rule for, say, based upon income or gross sales, or backyard gardeners far as food safety? When does food safety become an issue? What level?
Well, according to me, it's always an issue, but
Thank you. I agree with that as well. But
but legally, there is a capacity for sales where there are certain requirements that you have to abide by, but I at this time cannot share. I don't have all of that information in front of me. I can get you to FDA's website where they have that information, where you will start having to follow the FSMA guidelines, but there is a minimum capacity to address FSMA guidelines.
all right.
And backyard gardeners are rarely at the capacity, if ever.
Thank you.
It's quite a bit. Yep.
So just to clarify, the start date can be sometime in September, but not October 1.
Not October 1. It has to be started before the end of the fiscal year. So all the way up till September 30. Okay, so it looks like we have slowed down for questions and hand raising. I am going to go ahead and get us wrapped up. Again, this recording will be posted on the Funding Opportunities website. So the same website where you registered, the recording will be posted. If you do have any additional questions or follow-on questions after you've had a chance to either re-listen to the webinar, or if you just have some questions after you've read through the RFA as you're developing your proposal, feel free to reach out to me and let me know if you have any questions. Just shoot me an email and I will get back to you with responses to your questions. All right, so I'm going to close this out. Oh, there's a question. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for a document that shows the various components of the grant proposal so we know how to develop it, but I'm not finding this.
In the request for application, there's a section that has the project narrative, and it has all the information that should be included in the project narrative. It's in the middle of the RFA. I don't know the exact page, but that document has everything that's required to be in the proposal. There is no template per se for the narrative, but all the information that's required is in the request for application. And like I said, it's in the section that has like the project narrative and then the description for all the different priority areas and what's needed within the project narratives for all those priority areas. And then also, if you skip all the way to the end, it has the evaluation criteria. That's what you're actually writing to. So while the project narrative has what you should include, it should be framed around the evaluation criteria. And the evaluation criteria is very detailed. It looks like there's another question, Colin.
I've read the RFA several times and don't see this.
Okay, shoot me an email and I'll send you the exact page. Other questions? Alrighty, so I am going to go ahead and end the webinar. As mentioned before, this webinar recording will be posted on the Funding Opportunities page. Any questions, feel free to reach out to me, jody.williams@usda.gov, and my name is also, and contact information is also included in the request for applications. Take care, everyone. Have a great rest of your afternoon. Bye.